Welcome to Leigh Dickey TV. Hit subscribe to follow along with the fun. Now let's get on to today's video. We're heading to Fantasy Island. Roselyn Sanchez headlines the Fantasy Island reboot. I review the trailer next. Alright, so this trailer for the Fantasy Island reboot, like I said, it's going to be headlined by Sanchez. Now, she's known for her roles on Devious Maids and Grand Hotel. I first encountered her in Rush Hour 2, and I think she had a cameo in Rush Hour 3, and I think she's done a couple Hallmark movies in the last few years. A fine actress, beautiful woman, and it's cool to see her, land another role on a sort of one of the top networks. Fantasy Island, a reboot. Of course, reboots are all the rage these days, and I'm not surprised that another reboot's coming down the pipeline. This reboot is set to debut on August 10th, so by the time you guys see this, it will probably be about 7 or 8 days before the show's premiere. The show also stars Kiara Barnes, who's fresh off her run on The Bold and the Beautiful as Ruby, I think her character's name is, and she is the assistant to Roselyn Sanchez's Ilana Rourke. And if that character name sounds familiar, it's because she's going to be related somehow to the character of Mr. Rourke, made famous by Ricardo Montalban in the original Fantasy Island, which ran from 1978 to 1984 on ABC. Now, this series is going to air on Fox, and so you've got Roselyn Sanchez as Ilana Rourke playing the lead in this show. Of course, Kiara Barnes, who again will play Roselyn Sanchez's assistant, so Ilana's assistant, and you've also got John Gabriel Rodriguez, who plays Javier, a pilot, and I think his credits include Rosewood and Miranda's Rights. So this trailer for Fantasy Island, the Fantasy Island reboot, it focuses heavily on Roselyn Sanchez's Ilana Rourke, simply because she's the lead of the show. And basically, Fantasy Island is, you come to an island, like people come to this island and their biggest fantasies or their most sort of, their wishes come true, if you will. And I'm not saying that they're permanent. It looks like they're not, because they don't, like, going through the trailer, which is about 1 minute and 15 seconds, and I'll link it in the cards in the description. It's just like, you get to live out your fantasies, but there is some, like, dark secrets on this island, and it seems like they all come to the surface, but that all happens with, like, explosions and sort of the drama and what have you. But Ilana Rourke, played by Roselyn Sanchez, she's like, I change people's lives and I make their wishes come true. It's that sort of thing. And, I should say that, another reboot doesn't surprise me, because it doesn't. I have never seen a full episode of the original Fantasy Island, because its finale actually predates my existence by about 5 years. So I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen promos for the original Fantasy Island, but I will at least watch the pilot. It looks like there's a bit of action, a lot of drama, and the trailer shows the biggest fantasies of these people that are on this island coming true, and I will run through those in just a second. So the fantasies of the people on Fantasy Island. There was one sort of single woman in like an apartment or a hut or wherever she happens to be staying, in her dwelling, I guess, where she's surrounded by all this food and she's dancing, just living her best life, living out her best fantasy. And then you see like a bunch of the dark, seedy stuff come to the surface. There's also an elderly couple that walks through a waterfall, and suddenly they're transformed back into their youthful selves. And then you have a couple who gets mind swapped, sort of like some Freaky Friday thing. And they even say that in the trailer, where like the man's mind is now in the female's body, and the female's mind is now in the male's body. And I guess they end up sort of, making some sheet music and sleeping together, just to see what all the excitement is about, from another person's perspective, if you will. And there's all that. You get to live out your best fantasies. However, there's also like this deep, dark, seedy side of the island, and that all comes bubbling to the surface. At least that's what I gather and what I could, visualize from watching the trailer a couple times. And to be fair, like, I'm not old enough to remember the original show that ran from 78 to 84. It predates me. Its finale predates me by about 5 years. But this show, this reboot, will premiere on August 10th, and I will at least watch the pilot to see if I like it, and if I do, I'll continue to watch it, and I'll continue to talk about it. But I will at least wait till August 10th and its premiere to make my final judgment call, or my final assumptions, if you will. So there it is, my review of the Fantasy Island reboot trailer. I will link the trailer in the cards and description for you all. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. This episode will end up as an audio episode on the Beats and Speaks podcast and Yo Nostalgia, so please do go subscribe to both of those podcasts on your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Links in the description. Again, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have been Leigh Dickey. This wraps it up. Thanks again for watching. Please do take care, and we will talk to you later. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Leigh Dickey TV. New episodes are available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe to follow along with the fun.